So we start in exactly 4 minutes because we want to make it as a practice that our program always starts on time. So
no, you may not disconnect, maybe. I see two man inside it. Hey,
Julian.
they inside it.
Okay, the person with I see the touch. Check the mic.
Thanks. It's on now.
friends at the back, we are starting in 1 minute. So I advise that if we get with phone there with we, if we can get on our phone then please, I know say most of what they use for record. But the advice you wanna put silence or wanna switch them off so they will go in during the press conference. So, friends from the Fourth Estate, Mr. Minister, the Minister of Youth, and Madam Khadija, I want to welcome we all to the second press conference since we take over as a new leadership at the Ministry of Information. You know, because we care so much for make sure say we engage with citizens them and the media, we get workshop we start yesterday for ministers. But because the minister and the team they care and the government care say we will always give people the information we they want how government they work. We beg and tell and say we no one miss this press conference because we don't already start and we want to respect the Fourth Estate and we want also for respecting them for giving information. Today we get the Minister of Youth Affairs, we are Mr. Oman Bangua, we are the Usman Minister, on a more clap for him, we don't do today for can talk to me. Remember say on Saturday we celebrate International Youth Day, where I know say it will get something for Canterbury. Then also we don't get the Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Timothy Musa Kaba. But unfortunately, at the moment, he's not able to do it with because of other engagements then. And therefore, we apologize and we will say we will get in succeeding times for the press conference. We also get between Madam Khadija, we like the minister, we don't say last week that because one make say this platform, the platform also for the citizens them the opportunity for can talk to Sierraleoneans them and the media. We also don't make sure say we get one person from the civic space for all this can talk to it. On that note, I would like to hand over to the host, who is the Minister of Information and Civic Education, for an opening for me to carry on the press conference. Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Minister Yusuf Keke Thomas Andy. I know say also we name everybody know you, but important to let me introduce you properly. I want to take this opportunity for tell the media, members of the Fourth Estate, plenty thank you again for Unaka. As I say, we really try hard for set a new standard and a new tradition. I know you already plenty feedback, so people can say this if I know what we hope say they will maintain. I will assure the people of this country and the media partner and say not just that we will maintain, we will improve. This is not the start. We promise to say the vision we presidentbio gets, now for make we do as best as we can. So I want to tell Ministry of Foreign Affairs thank you again for waiting they continue for hosting. I also want to particularly acknowledge the media partner that we carry we live. I don't say AYV they carry we live. Of course, the national broadcaster SLBC they carry we live. Some of them they follow we as well on we page, the Ministry of Information and Civic Education we page. We page them they carry we live, and also we get other partner there as well with the live, Unity Broadcasting and others. And then a whole set of community radio partner there across this country. They carry this press conference live. This is now an opportunity, a part of not just with press, but with civic engagement initiative will just start. The people of this country get rights for get access to information. They get rights for interact with the policymaker them, with the leader them in this country, and we job now for continue for bring them people here to Leone talk. We do this press conference on a weekly basis. For our people they know say we get for come up with more initiatives and for bring the people that will lead, will work for una way in a house to una. We get for bring them kind of community them. We get for bring them come now on phone them. We get for give opportunity for them to interact. So speaking of interaction, una way been get the flyer for this press conference no say a QR code day. If you use that QR code there, you go on slido.com, you get an opportunity for send you question them in advance. I have to apologize to the one who will be sending questions specifically for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which I will try to do. I'll find out if through that platform they will be able to send back written responses. Because people have already sent plenty of questions into the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The one that would already send a question into the Minister of Youth and to his sister Khadija there, I'll show you throughout this discussion. I will go through each and every one of them questions a day. In fact, I don't share the question into them in advance, so that when they give the initial statement, they will try to incorporate the answer them to the question them initially. If they miss anything, I will keep track. The goal of this now for say the government they listen to you, the government they talk to you, now you get the government, now you will they work for. So we want for let we continue for build the exchange. What we for the do again is at the start of the press conference, we will collect weekly updates from all ministries, departments, and agencies, and we will filter them. And at the start, we will provide some highlights to the press, to the people of Salone. So not to just the people who are in a panel no more. So you can still can this press conference and ask, of course, as information minister, I mean, responsibility for answer and talk on behalf of the government. So while as you can see with this flyer this week, we'll not just provide the name of the day, we'll provide themes. So we'll prepare the press so that they can. But also, I want to invite you to say, elect person in name no dey. Una get question about the government. This interaction and opportunity for una self. Family and host as well. If you get generic question them, use the platform we provide for sending question in there, and we will do the best for prepare and for get the answer then to you. So I just want to remind you again, you can use the QR code, or you can go to slido.com, slido.com, and use the code number 3782090. 3782090, and you can ask questions to any of you there about anything about your government. We may not always have all the answer there for you immediately, but I commit to you one thing. We will go find the answer there, and we will bring the answer they can to you. At the end of this conversation, we also will put out to the public another QR code for let you give me feedback on the press conference, on the content, on the mic, like this one we don't go up so. All right, good. Definitely something to shake. All right, let's hope it works, but I can stream if it doesn't. All right. Okay, thank you. So last week, after the press conference, we will contact the journalists who will be there. We will be getting contact for make them share feedback. We will send a form. I just want to provide to Una in the interest of transparency, just some generic feedback we will get from that post press conference survey they will be doing. 83% of people will respond. They rate their satisfaction as either very high or high. So generally, people will be satisfied with the last press conference we will get. We may ask them specific questions about the information we provide, about the respective, the security sector, and in general, we will get very positive feedback. The reason we will come back now, people will particularly praise say this building is accessible compared to outside they go today, and they will follow do this. Some people then say they want let the press conference be longer because they want to talk more. On that day, we will continue to think about that. But one of the things we make with the start on time and also for respect on our time. And the one that we carry with live. We want to say now this time we do one, we make sure say we do that time there. And then we particularly ask on the question of Creole. I want to thank you to Epic Radio, Awoko and others, that we don't pick up this conversation about the use of Creole as a medium of communication. If I pull the act as minister where not possible for that pull, people will know say I don't be a pretty vocal advocate for not communicate to the people of Salone in a language that they understand. And me believe say Creole na a particular language now the best tool we get for reach as many people as possible. I also want to acknowledge say we get some international press with their attend press conference and they ask specifically about their ability for quotes. Say, well, if na Creole, how will we for quotes directly and make sure say accurate? My attitude to these things is if we get the values we will agree on, we not follow communicate. Even when you need we quotes, not follow communicate. So what we do? We find a way for just satisfy the few, not will impact or affect the majority. But then journalists they say, they guys forget that they could stay for let them fill the information on time. So one of the things they would agree is they want to get the capacity for loosely translate Creole, they would want and send them to we, and I will commit for work with the principal and for let them approve what they say quickly in English and send them back. So again, I just want to emphasize that we goal now for continue for provide information for credible, factual, timely engagement with the people of Salone. Now, una na the boss. We they work for una. Before I turn over to the panel, I just want to provide one key update. Some of you don't see the Ministry of Local Governments and Community Affairs. Then Wale family no say the paramount chief na Dan Soglea chiefdom to Onkolili district currently they under suspension. We in the investigator for we make what they call inciting political statements. We get a tendency for disturb the peace and for undermine the ethnic cohesion within Salone. The ministry don't follow due process. They don't ask the Justice Momoja Stephen for serve as the commissioner for investigate the allegations of who I don't mention the allegations of incitement and breach of ethics and self-regulation. We immediately the president don't appoints Justice Momoja Stevens for oversee this case, and then we'll do a proper investigation, and then we will get more updates on that situation there. But one of the local news then from my colleague minister we want to follow emphasize here, so in case people can get any questions on them in the day. For now, I can turn to first the Minister of Youth. As you know, August 12th now being the International Day of Youth, and His Excellency Presidentbio, one of in big five agenda. I can like for remind people of the big five so I don't forget. Number one, I forfeit Salone. Number two, now human capital development for build 21st century skill and for prepare we for lead in the fourth industrial revolution. Number three, I need the minister cap. Youth employment. Very, very important. Youth employment. And then we get number four and number five, we deal with infrastructure and technology and reform of the public service. So big parts on that number three. Residents in manifesto very clear. I say they provide 500,000 jobs. I see, but Commando asked me a question. They're already using our platform. They will send this job. They will begin sitting now. But this we could do youth. So one turn to the minister for. I will not send out some of them questions the way they ask. For let's start. We just provide them updates on what the ministry they do, what's the day right now, what's the initial plans them for fulfilling excellency mandates, and then we will turn to Khadija, when a youth activist, a feminist, we don't only speak up particularly on the challenges that we young people in the face with regards to the drug crisis we get in this country. We will lay the foundation for go in depth on this question of the drug crisis in this country for today's press conference. Next week we'll follow up as well on that topic. We will get other experts there to look at them from different angles there as well. But without further ado, make a hand now over to Akintel and say, na the minister we na the first youth we Presidentbio appoint. I do well, we make Presidentbio say, that bring other young man name and young people like inside cabinet. So now the pace setter among we the young people that I force before even in the appointments the chief minister into cabinet. So now one of the outstanding ministers in the government, we very clear that they don't reappoint as Minister of Youth. And I'm glad to say today make time for come to the people of Salone through this platform with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education they provide. Minister Omar.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Information and Civic Education. And with Deputy Minister Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, members of the press, members of the Port Estates, and the people who are watching this interview. You know, we don't go. I remember sometimes in the first time when we talk about press conference, my sister Namaboka, she called me, hey, come for the dinner. That's a bit understanding. That is to say, that English is talking, I mean, I don't understand. Tell them and then begin to Creole. So, Honorable Minister, I put this to you that my sister with my broker, this you don't today to watch me, and you don't call me Pastor Monsen. The people don't call, oh, they say now they up today. I really appreciate that. This time around, they will know exactly question the way I go for weekend, and I will answer again. The people don't remember vividly over 5 years ago, when His Excellency the President blessed me with the opportunity for serve young people of this country. You know, actually, I come out with region, I come out to that one you, who say, I don't like Papa, I don't like Mama. He gave me the mandate of leadership for lead young people, and he asked me go serve young people of Sierra Leone. And that PTX say, he always tell me anything we they do now, people get to judge you after. And I've done with honesty and sincerity within the best of what we can do for me for to achieve down there. When he been blessed me the first time, you know, when I talk about Ministry of Youth Affairs, nobody, as you say, Ministry of Youth Affairs, now corruption, indiscipline, no development pattern, no can you. Nobody, anything that you business around now, so this. But then like today, I'll proud for tell people and say, if you look at the audit report and other mechanisms the way they use for its people, I'll tell you the Ministry of Youth Affairs is one of the most transparent and accountable ministry. That no means we get challenges in management and other things, and I make every payment where the ministry do development partner, we make sure we must get a press release for the public and process. Most of the ministry be there before my appointment, trust not be there, confidence not be there, and young people not get that self-esteem for student advocates. And we always say, you know, they work for young people, we don't work with them, and that's not one thing we always push. We get different space when they talk about young people. We get young people who believe in today for today. We get young people who believe in skills. We get young people who believe in entrepreneurship. We get young people who graduate, who believe say they're supposed to do national service and get job. The areas that they will not try for do a whole lot. Now that make one of the biggest programs we do last year, agriculture. I'll tell you, members of the press and members of the 40 states, the current and the future of Sierra Leone agriculture. And we're not going to move outside agriculture, and agriculture always the match with entrepreneurship. The current and the future of this country are entrepreneurship and agriculture. Why so? And with generation very lucky, Honorable Minister, today we get a very aging farmers. But I'll tell you, with the free quality education, with the platform we presidentbio on put, the flagship program during the first time, now education, with time to come, we'll get one of the most educated and innovative farmers there. That is to say, before this time, you know, get young people and we believe in agriculture, a whole and cutlass. We need to try to bring innovative and modern ways of doing agriculture. They buy over 2,000 tractors, over 4,000 or 8,000 farm equipment. We train young people in our Sumbuya project. You're surprised to know, say, we will not ever get trained and qualified young people for drive tractor. We do that one day. We get program we call youth in fishery. I'll tell you, I know Minister, members of the 40 states and members of the press, president. To me, as a former banker, former assistant credit analyst, I'll tell you exactly, say, if you want to get returns, trust young people. When you allow young people to take credit on a soft loan, on a way they don't feel too much, trust me, they get tendency for feedback because they know say the credibility, the integrity, and the picture tied into that. The youth and fishery project are one of the most successful projects now evolving form. Honorable Minister and members of the press remember a couple of weeks ago, I believe the press release will pay contractors about 4.something billion. People even ask, you mean you left 4.something billion at your account, you go into election? And I say, well, cook fine, work fine, you know, say, you eat. I be well sure say, this government they come back and that money they left and they will be allowed, not deliver to left and they would allow due process will be followed. Because for you, our contract, you have to go through due process for NPPA, finance and other things. And so now, out of that 70 boats we've been buying before, now we don't do the procurement, we don't pay contractor for the machine and other things then for about 4.something billion, and we'll get another one we will pay very soon for etc. So what thing I did allow me like that, we give any young people, trust them, say we want to go work, and on a payback. And the returns, outside our challenge, any commercial bank in this country, will hold the money at their vaults, we no one reduce the credit risk and reduce the rate of treating the young people and it will be affected. We'll get the car wash. People see this car wash, say, oh, these are young people they see only now. Society don't ignore a whole lot of people and I always ask, and this is our way of advocating, with Criminal Procedure Act has to be looked into. Today we send young people in prison for minor crimes. And when they come out to society, they found them. Society say, ah, this is for them, I go they go. Let me get alternative form of punishment, alternative form of treating the young people in there. And we get another project, like Youth Connect Hubs. Today, when you go Mongo, Palaba District, the only government building we did it, Ministry of Youth Constructor, because we get this principle that we know they left nobody behind. Presidentbio believes safe for, and no matter what say, if any safe, you get a stake in governance, you get a stake in the Ministry of Youth Affairs. And through that, get computers then, get internet, everything. Not only that, we do about 3 of them. If you're watching the manifesto, based on the impact of the Youth Connect Hubs in the His Excellency the President, in his wisdom, say, we ensure say they want to cascade right across. In terms of access to finance, now one thing, members of the faculty states and members of the press or colleague ministers, when you go on a bank for take loan, you get all the ideas, you don't graduate, entrepreneurship, you want to do this. But at the same time, they will tell you, say, when you go on a bank, they ask you for collateral. And you not get, if I cannot get ocean, you know, there was one more conflict on. Then go ask you, say, give me oceans, give me Ocean book and this. So access to finance, I want to already push. If you watch BAU now, the body and last year, we give over $2 million to entrepreneurs. Ministry of Youth and UNDP do the one day. How we do at this? And on the principle of transparency and accountability, we always push say, what do you do for young people, allow third parties them to come inside, allow third parties them for do this. So then go right across the country and do selection of entrepreneurs. Hundreds apply. Then do shortlisting. Then you can pitch your idea. Gone are those days when you know who you work. And you know how we believe as a government, because His Excellency the President, nobody be me. Nobody be me. Not to know who he use. Now the know how. How you will come and defend. How you will come and defend what you say now you do. Because we know it's a packaging. Somebody you don't write for you fine. Somebody you don't do this for you, you can't present. But when they can't pin you before crowd now, you don't need to study English. But what you do, what you get, what you do, for you to talk and for you to defend them. We get a whole lot of grants. And as I speak on the International Youth Day, the theme for this year are green skills for young people. What are green skills for young people? The skills where young people are in jobs, where young people are in business, and where young people do, will not affect the environment. What does that mean? Clean energy, digital skills, e-commerce. Say for instance, Orange Sierraleone. 2001 to date, they train over 3,000 young people on digital skills. And out of that 3,000, proudly, I will tell people of this country, say, over 400 get permanent job already. That's not the digital space. We talk about e-commerce. E-commerce, today you go understand, say, the fastest way you go sell are online. Today you buy cookie online, you buy less online, because young people don't know the space, say, I can take my phone and see what you want to sell and see what you want to do, and we go buy there. And now that's how we celebrate this year, how we will create green jobs for young people. You find out today, most children make quarter town and get solar energy. The ripple effect of solar energy are children make quarter town here like this. If you be there, you get fish, you know you get fish, and you go harvest you, concuba, you fruit them, you know guys have keep them, you go do your fish farm, you know guys have to keep them, you will find it very difficult for preserve that food there. But with the Ministry of Energy, the solar energy, call it clean energy, right across today, you know how many children them. Even my sister na Matam, today they enjoy solar. And I that with the talk, now that was in the push for. So what will they say about that? Out of that light, where they put people in the way get shop, people in the way get businesses, then the businesses they boom. Yeah? And again, when we talk about green energy, when we talk about digital skills, it's about how we green jobs. Now, how you get jobs and we not affect anybody. We not affect the environment. And maybe there are now one example of green job. Say for instance, the fish farming what we do. There's money in aquaculture. How young people go sit down, you create, you buy that fingerlings, you buy that you feed, you do spawning, and artificial learning. Now one thing where people will always make use of. You see, TikTok all this is so you learn everything on TikTok. I use 3 hours or 2 hours of my time on TikTok for land of goat farming, fish farming. Dolphin, we find a way for implement them. So I use this platform also for advocacy. Let me use social media to your advantage. On the question the way the Honorable Minister sent and other things, no,
people in Senate.
People in Senate, I use Senate to me. Honorable Minister.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very conscious of what I do.
Yes, yes.
But when you talk to young people, now you send them to me. People then send them to you.
Yes.
Yes. One girl for asked, somebody asked, they say, most of the questions they go do it when we will actually implement a good agenda for job creation for young people in this country. You know, sometimes when we talk about job creation, the jobs that they available, I'll tell you, we get limited skills with waste certified. For instance, I don't work at the extractive industry as chief accountant. I mean at the mining sector. Then they bring Romanians, then they bring Australians, then they bring Tanzanians for can do job with me and you they do now. When His Excellency blessed me for being minister, what should we do? Through the Ministry of Higher Education, I can ensure say today you get people who get certificate in plumbing, you get people who get certificate in masoning, you get people who get certificate in steel bending. And with the Sumuya project again, we'll ensure so we'll go train young people how to drive heavy equipment, how to drive tractor. Today, then the Sumuya project, 90% of the people when I be beneficiary of that project, they all get job because we not be get certificate. For that employ you. You know what you have say as a guy, you will ask for the certificate. And NCTVA, the ministry be ensure say we will get that one done. And let me not forget say we don't His Excellency the President don't lay foundation for jobs. When you talk about jobs, it's not just government. When you look at the space, government gets your role for play. How many jobs government they do? It's very smaller compared to the private sector. And I make His Excellency always a push for private sector investments. For instance, before he become president, 2018, London mining lobby ever day. Leone, when at the African mineral, all we don't shut down because of bad business and bad governance and bad investment. It ensures say through in leadership, the investment in the day come back and that creates thousands of jobs. You get the local contractors, you get the subcontractors, all the one in the SL mining and all. Today you get more large-scale mining companies where you get thousands of jobs. So the platform one day, in terms of trade, ask how many business, how many companies then. Say Salone will sell oil, will export oil, like the vice president jump the main pension of farm. So the person will export when we begin see real job thing for young people in this country. Now a process. Imagine if we don't start this amount of transparency and accountability and good governance in the leadership 20 years, 30 years ago, they will not forget. And again, on the aspect of the big issue that they go with drugs and substance abuse, I mean, I always tell people this, it's unfortunate. But what's happen at Salone, not different from what's happen in America and other parts of the world. But we will use a Sierra Leone lens solution for solve Sierra Leone problem. And in my own view, from somebody who come up from the extreme left of life, and so now I can probably say I don't need to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 presidents in the world, and I get colleague ministers. And from Monarchy pusher, street boy, to a colleague minister now within the high table. Me pushing at this. Advocacy and awareness raising has to be community owned. That is to say, me for able to talk to my brother, sharing of us here, Mr. Pusher, see, but this is what they do. You think say this not the right way? Because you think say society ignore you, you go do this. How you think say But you don't think, say, even if they take a Latin, it will change. Somebody has to talk to you. Why should we come on TV like how we cancel? It's a 2 hours talk, right? But me and you in a community, and the civil self with the talk, with the monitor we say. It has to be community own because we get to take leadership in that. Thank you. Okay.
I want to make sure say you particularly address the questions around the Kush drug crisis because plenty of the questions already even coming now even as we talk. People they ask me about what government they do about that. I think I can put them all inside similar categories.
Yes, yes. So what government they do? Like for the past couple of days, there is no place, no sign of the in the region where you get cabinet minister for 2 consecutive days. They take the media, they sit on a panel, they talk about drugs. Hey, drugs, they're a big cartel. Anything that's really difficult to talk about, but what do we talk about now? It's about the substance. People think about Kush, but we have over 21 substance where young people they abuse, including that you nail polish where they keep like old sweet things say, and for polish you nail. Due to social media and young people curiosity, and they use them. Now make they push them down to the society. With the same TikTok when they use for learn for men fish, how for men goats. People then they learn them for do the young thing, and young people they explore. So what we don't do, you not ever get a government in this country, we don't engage young people than this current government. We get young people, children youth leaders, village youth leaders, district youth leaders, and we get national youth council leaders. 156 youth leaders across the country get brand new Excel for TDC. Even as a Sidoya, most of them don't call them village borders and youth leaders them say the minister they talk and I can't even tell they talk this. That's on its own. We don't devolve, we don't type of send the information. So advocacy is really key. So what we don't do, we continue to push. Like under the office of the presidency, mental health, drugs become addictive when you take one out of it may either be a good influence, out of curiosity, out of other things. Then when you can say become addictive, you become mental health. And I mean under the presidency, before we go into election, there is a whole mental health secretariat where they establish for ensure say, me and you, the physical we normal, but sometimes out of depression, the way we do things, we really depressed. So mental health, like countries and they will get a whole place where you get a phone line where they talk to people. Sometimes you can be so depressed, you don't get nobody for talk to. Yeah? So what we don't do as a government, like a collective effort from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the police, from the ports, the last containers, the information they get, how are they getting? I feed the Port Authority, the new DG, then I be the Deputy presidentbio, and they always feed them with information. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Ministry of the ONS, will feed them with information. They don't confiscate containers them and they don't destroy them. But like I say, community ownership, now me and you get for the watch. When you get information, you should get a platform like the Ministry of Information for feed them, then we say we will act on them. Thank you very much.
Voila. We want to thank you to the distinguished Minister of Youth Affairs for that real comprehensive update today. On the drug crisis, I just want to reiterate for let people understand clearly. We acknowledge as a government that there is a crisis with the abuse of drugs in the country. As the minister say, like anything we presidentbio don't do, they just go somewhere, do this, go attack this, lock them up. A comprehensive approach this government they take for fully understand this situation and tackle her at its roots. There is a supply problem outside the drugs and the common, but some people if you say kush, you just go stop kush completely. Like how the minister said, multiple substances they deal with people that they abuse. And so we deal with that obviously the supply chain problem. We also they look at the mental health situation because you don't elevate the issue of mental health to the highest level in the history of this country. Not just just before election, he launched a very special initiative in the office of the president. I don't name a mental health advisor. strengthen with mental health institutions them, and then they put together a comprehensive plan for address this problem as a mental health situation. There's also the health problems, just the health crisis itself. And as I say, in the following weeks, maybe next week, we'll get the Minister of Health here to talk about that and other health updates as well. On waiting and they do as well for provide a response to people that will get health problems them as a result of the use of drugs for help them for win them out of that. As a security issue, the Ministry of Internal Affairs also a part of this. So like comprehensive approach the government they take. One of the messages that the minister talk about that now we all responsibility. You as well, and this is part of waiting with your ministry they continue they build on and the civic engagement part. Because the problem as well like civic crisis. Now we all responsibility for protect each other. If we produce good citizens that we free of drugs, we all the benefit from that. So if you see something, you know that you bring that drug, they can have responsibility for also for reports to the police. And follow up on them and they stop. Not to the people that really use drugs, they criminalize. And the people that really bring and come. They drug loads them and all of that. I want to use the opportunity to just make one clarification to one question we get on the issue of foreign affairs, because we're supposed to get the Minister of Foreign Affairs here. So there are questions about Salone participation in ECOWAS with respect to the proposed, to the Niger situation. ECOWAS released a communique. Salone, now an active member, in fact, His Excellency the President participates in the last ECOWAS meeting and fully endorse the content of that communique. Salone don't get a standing commitment for always contribute, for make your contribution, including with respect to troops and otherwise, to ECOWAS, because ECOWAS don't get a conclusion, so they go get a standing force. Salone don't always make a commitment that whenever that is required, Sierra Leone will mobilize with troops and equipment and for contributes as now with duty as a member of ECOWAS. Because of the history, of course, where Salone enjoy the benefits of ECOWAS, we even say as much more important for them we continue for support ECOWAS and be loyal to the conclusions of ECOWAS. I can confirm to una say that Salone in commitments to ECOWAS remains unchanged, and that when ECOWAS anytime require Salone for being part of, for contribute to any mission of ECOWAS as will be agreed by the heads of states, Sierra Leone remains ready to be part of that. So that are the one clarification. We'll get a bunch of questions that were meant for my colleague, the foreign minister, but I think I'm in a position for provide updates to now. Now I hand over to the civil society activist, Madam Khadija Bai. We will make a very short intervention. We'll only have 5 minutes, and then we will open up for questions and reactions. As I say, we don't acknowledge earlier on, we brother Mike Ewadea from the Communications Director in the Office of the President. Any questions I get about government for the past week, and I can field them question and we can try to do this for respond, or as I say, we will make an announcement, we'll get the right answer and come back to it now. Khadija.
Thank you so much. Members of the President, all present here and everybody where they watch from home or your offices, ministers, deputy ministers, greetings everybody. My name is Khadija Bai. Yeah. Why I discussed the issue of push? I vividly remember in May, I got off court around 5-6 a.m. for bye-bye for a certain program. And then there's just this certain amount of people, young man them and woman them, who chose to sleep. They can't consider an athlete. Most of them hold something in their hand like food, where like you want eat after I don't take the drugs, and then suddenly you just go down like that. We go to the point that around Kawayat, I tell my friends, say, I'm afraid of Sam, I'm afraid. So, in turn, watchmen's mind say, they need to not say, wait, see them so, they keep pattern and they feel anything. I was like, what? Like, wow. The majority. From my research yesterday, where I did read through and see what else does happen, Jusu Matia, when I am acting medical superintendent and resident psychiatrist, say about 60% of male them when they admit in hospital. About 60% when they admit. I'm not saying 60% of youth then. They all go there because of push. So why this important? If about 60% of people where they admit already they admit because of push, so how country they go? The majority of Sierraleoneans, we know say na young people. About 70% of the population are young people, like ministers and but like we say, Siba and Minister of Youth and Deputy Minister here, nobody see also they be young, they take other drugs and so they will not become ministers today. No. We get issues in where they cause them. True? Government, family, everybody they contribute. We say they add and so on something. Salone, we know say by last year we witnessed say the rate we have as the second poorest in Africa, or is it the world? The world, right? So because of the poverty rate, the lack of skills or employment, job, majority they see and say, if I go and just go get something where they make I feel relax and sleep, it will bring in, to reduce the stress and all. But then again, I'll come back. If you wake up from that sleep, you don't solve any of the problems. So we young people now. But we also need to think about this peer pressure, right? Some of them, they do them because of party, they tell them, they influence them, they do them, but just test them. Like I be the retro again, I told you I did research, actually did extensive on this day. This garbage collector, whatever the interview I'm saying, and friends them just influence and say, just test them, they pass with them. From then, when you start for take them, you only work now for take, sleep, eat, lay down, grab back, take, sleep, just that. And we know how much you eat. And per day they spend about 200,000 euros, 200 millions in the drugs that they take. Which is, I'm not particular about push, because they take other ones, but we don't ever get this kind of rate in the country where people in this, we say it's no more safe for our brothers and sisters, like the way Kush is doing it now. Pampers for time calm and all of that. But suddenly all of it just like that go down and all. But why Kush just the increase? It just go, it just go. Okay, if we come up from there, we look at family and environment, right? Family and environment. Most of them, if you go down the ghettos and talk with them and ask them why you take this, in fact, that raised you. You don't even, they were not raised by their family members. The society is harsh towards them also. And because of all of this, they find time to go get a solace. Let me rest. No one cares after all. If you want to take a decision for your life, which is super major and all, no one is there to guide you and say, okay, do this and all, do this. Because today, if I want to take certain decision, I contact my mentor, or I contact SIBA, or contact any other person. I'm not saying they guide me. I'm not going to go ahead and take crucial. I'm not doing that. Because I'm not saying it will destroy me. But do they know that? They didn't get that support. The legal system. Salone, they know we say they obey laws. We most of the peace, we peaceful parts. Whatever you can think of, really. So we get lost so much where they even get how you even work out, so we go say right. But you must say it gets so much crack. If there was not this crack and all, how come we get so much of it that they import them inside the country like that? Just coming in. These points that we're getting it. And as I was doing my research, a friend when a medical person said, Khadija, what about you go tell them about the 2001 Medical Act also? I was like, okay, so you could talk to them about that. But it's not outdated. Government, medical practitioners, and everyone should come together and look at them and see that this is outdated. We need to upgrade it and look at it. What's the effects from Kush or other drugs? let's say you have a family, friends, your loved ones, your relationship with them, they broke just like that. No one wants to be associated with people that are useless, as I will use the word. And let's say you want to get employment. Whatever employee, without will sleep holding our office and do nothing. You're not doing anything. No one will employ you. Or your academic performance. All day you work now for like the garbage collector, sleep, eat, and all that. How will you improve? How will you get the grades? So, I actually had a speech. I'm not going over it. Only thing I will say is about these people, young men and women. By the way, we get young lady where they close to use how they live, where they take push, like different type when they come out, they don't say skull. The lady they vomit, I'm sorry for the word, probably, but whenever we auntie and people around the left, it doesn't work like left. Rehabilitation centers, do we have them? And okay, they're there. They get with them, forget everything. No, but there are few people that are benefiting from it, right? Somebody asked Tijan from Facebook, say, within and 2 strategies where I will use for this, if I use. First, I will tell you awareness raising. That's education. Like Minister was saying, we own the things that we want. I have a friend who always left us say, Jiba with him, no one owes you anything in this world. The moment we young people realize that Salone is poor, job then very scarce, you should be educated, whether it's you go through the formal way or you learn a skill, and then we get up and do it, we will not succeed until we reach at that stage. And you're not doing it for another person, but you're doing it for yourself, for yourself, for your family. This is the only thing. So awareness raising. Like you were saying, meet them, ask them. You think, say, if this continues till you 50, how you go to you can pick in your picking. Like, get them psychologically. Then the second approach could be rehabilitation. We already get people who are affected. There's no one who will left them out, right? The young people. The future of the country really there on these young people. Then we put them inside the centers where we rehabilitate them before that we bring them back to the community and make sure that they go about life normally. So, brothers, sisters, young people of the nation, being an advocate for over a decade or so, whenever I see something where they pay each one of them, it pay me. I see young, yesterday I watched a video, see, woman them and some man them, old placards them, they go and shout, he do so. With sister and brother, they die per push, he do so, and people die because of it. Can we just stop taking it? We know it's poor, it's hard and all, but let's think another way for solve your problems than push. Thank you.
It's okay to clap, you know. I know someone journalists they were not supposed to clap, but this not a message from the heart from a distinguished activist we respect and we will really glad to say can grace this platform. As the minister said, much more effective way to come up from a young person we are affected by this crisis. Because we see affect one person as alone, they affect we all together. And I think this the very passionate plea we Khadija don't make. Now one way I will assure the people of this country say the government take very seriously. This is a crisis that the president don't commit to human capital development, to youth employment, to feed the country. We cannot harness all of that if we waste a whole generation to this drug crisis. So I'll assure the people and say we take this very seriously. We will continue to talk about it from different angles and we will reveal more and more things that we really do as a government to respond to this. Now we open up for questions. Like I do last week, we take a round of questions quickly and then we get some answers. The people within our host, I remind you, say, you're part of the conversation. You can go slido.com and use the code hashtag 3782090, 3782090, and I promise to you, so I will read each and every one of the questions and we'll get mine. So let me see the hands that are up. I'm gonna do this side, so I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. When I do a fast, you say your name and you question, then you go help people get as many in as possible. And then you press the mic where you talk and talk into the mic. So 1 first. No. This gentleman there first, you do number 3. This man there first, that man will be in the second, you do number 3, you do the next day number 4. Go on.
Yes, continuous.
There are 2, yes.
Yeah, good afternoon to everybody. Mina Kamara, I write from New Citizen newspaper. The first question to the Minister of Youth. I'll take us to the car wash project because the last time we hosted a Ministry of Information, you will tell me how it will transform the life of some youth. The election of presidentbio, it will promise 500,000 jobs or so for the youth. So one from the nature of the job, and we will see more of car wash business or something, because we talk about empowerment, not for the individual, right? Because empowerment we want for yourself, now you wish to get for another person. Don't move to the agricultural aspect also. The availability of the tractors then, right? Of course, they are available, but the question here is how almost people will afford them, because we're going to then villages them. We can get club 1, 2, 3 village, they come together, they embark on farming. But the cost for the tractors there, even the produce, the times are by 4, they're not going to get the money for afford the tractor alone. So that's not the way I don't see how best when I will put the price down for the tractors they have. So it will be beneficial for the young people.
Alright, so turn on your mic, or you just use the same mic, it's easier. Can you use this mic?
I'm Mohammed Kumar of the Washington newspaper. The question goes to the Minister of Youth.
Yes.
You talk of the Captain Kush question, of which you talk about the cartel. Mr. Minister, 4 years of investigations about drugs in this country don't do for 10 years, you say. 1, the people of this country no longer get confidence on theories and advocacy for drugs. You all know where it's coming from and you know how to stop it, but you couldn't do that. Now let's just complain. Do you know, say, the cartel you refer to is referred to the mafia, what I say, the chain of command. The chain of command consists of all those people who dedicate their thousands of dollars or millions of go somewhere in the world for buying these drugs in large quantity. They get focus. Where? The focus, if they think of coming to Sweden, the first point of call is the customs department and the Sweden police. Then when they make the necessary arrangement to these people, the way they get for check them, they can easily come in. Not to me, you get for good about that. They are there 24/7. Then what should be done is for set up a counter surveillance team, we're going to say the independence of this customs and police, for ensure say this thing doesn't happen. That is the best way. I thank my sister for dedicating life so well at 20 years. I wish her good luck in what she's standing for, but if we don't go transparently, this problem will never solve. Let me come to the Minister of Information. I told I like to ask you a question about the surveillance involvement in ECOWAS. Now, you know ECOWAS country consists of 16 countries. The two ones, we get a lot of francophones and we get a lot of anglophones as well. Now, the problem is that it seems that France lose their power in their own former colonies. Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, and of course Niger are all francophone countries out there. They get military war. Now, is it that this still causes lots of worries, for example, in the support and reform countries that if they don't, ECOWAS doesn't stop people, if they don't take political action to stop them now, that virus will generate in other African countries as well. West African countries, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, I would really encourage you all to keep the briefest and shorter and go straight to the question so we entertain more. By the way, thank you, and we like the question.
My name is Daniel from Leone. I want to take the cue from Bakamara concerning the ECOWAS and the Guinea as well. So, you mentioned, say, of course, President Bio being part of the ECOWAS committee, just like I said, he approval for sending to Niger. If you look at Salone and Guinea, a two-body continent, any part of the Mano River region. And of course, Guinea belong Guinea support to Niger. I want to know, as a country, if we concern, because we don't plan for support ECOWAS, whereas Guinea as well don't plan for support Niger. The other question therefore do with the lifts that you building. You mentioned, say, I think last week or so, they called the press conference here because of the lift. Now, I would say, apart from the Minister of Information, you building the host, most of governments engage them. I want to know when would I tell for doing that lifting. The other question again to go to you as well. I want to know the government in order this plan. Also to the Minister of Youth, Madam Khadija just to approximately about 60% people them were in a psychiatric home the day because of COVID. You also mentioned say we get about 21 substance there by the country. Women say that not only kush, they make people and they go and flower. Sorry also. So I want to know because you also mentioned say you concerned as a government when I concerned about what they happen in the country. When I get any measures, what are the type of put for sure say all this stuff. Thank you.
Final one. Sunland up. Or just use them because you need to close.
Okay.
Again.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Salone is my name, and I work for the Expo Times newspaper. Mr. Khadija, by mention of rehabilitation, we know say in fighting drugs not only for eradicating the country, as a government, what are the mechanisms that they put in place in eradicating the drugs, those are already affected, what will they do towards them in terms of rehabilitation? Secondly, the Minister of Youth talk about agriculture. He said the current and future of Sierra Leone lies in agriculture as a government, and the next 5 years on a priority now for improve the agriculture sector. What are the mechanisms also they put in place for improve the agriculture sector in the country? And lastly, Minister of Information talk about providing 500,000 of jobs for the people of Sierra Leone, specifically to the young people, because we are the future leaders of tomorrow. It's been said for a long time now. Okay. Okay. We are in that. We are leaders of today. Those 500,000 jobs, what are the targeted people or how soon the youth of this country could expect for seeing 500,000 jobs in it? Thank you.
Alright, so I think one way with this engagement here will work, we all learn together, and that if we all listen to the question, then so not repeat question what our procedure ask. So that we will give more chance for them more people to engage. We appreciate so now for the question them, we can try now for go through them, but I encourage that we keep the question them brief because we want to take as many as possible, but we also committed for done on time. So maybe start with the one every day. Directly to me on the question of agriculture. When I want the last question, then we will bring the Minister of Agriculture, Kamnaya, in the next 2 weeks. All the top 5, the minister that will lead on the big 5, then we'll bring in Kam at some point, and then we engage on that. The minister will also see don't take some initial steps then, but he puts together a plan. And when in Kamnaya, he will answer that question in detail. What we tell people on our radio the other day is the best indicator of future behavior now past action. Presidentbio, he make education in flagship. People in Salone, including some of who will be in civil society, will not be believe say it possible for them to make the kind of commitment and achieve what he achieve. Presidentbio do unprecedented things with education in this country. We don't achieve gender parity, we don't increase investments in education. We get commitment, say, in the midst of all the crises, we will continue to spend at least 20% of our national budgets in education. This same president don't look now at feeding the nation. He say Nainga for being priority. I think the people of this country for be rest assured that that in nickname with our targets, talk and do is a deserved one. So we will say, well, we'll come to the plan. People in deserve to know already inside the plan and how to do them. But I just want to assure you and say, Dan in a plan will On the question of the lifts now you building, I can tell you say every one of the 10 ministries within a building, we all concerned about this, we all don't complain. And the Minister of Works, the Chief Minister, they don't make a priority. I think I can reveal now, say in the next few weeks, work on within this month actually, I was told, work on the elevator will start for fixer. This is not something we all don't attack, and even though with the government, I came here publicly again, this is not telling a new set of people, a new dynamism in government. We own that it's a problem. I can't ask you to go put me on the 8th floor. So it's something that the government they take extremely seriously, and I think very, very soon we'll see an answer to that question. There were some questions around the ECOWAS question. Again, I'll be careful not for talk too much because of the Minister of Foreign Affairs not come, but I want to just say two things on that question around our relationships in the sub-region. Salone continue to enjoy excellent relationship with the country that within the sub-region. When I see recently the police and the military chief there, they mention how we do cross-border security. Any problem will be happen, the people who have cause problem here, we work with people in Guinea and Liberia, we bring them. That relationship is sacrosanct. That relationship we continue to enjoy. We are very comfortable with the relationship with the partners them, with the brother we get the Mother River Union with an effective relationship we continue to grow. In terms of how that relates with the work now ECOWAS, each country they take your own stance we want to take with respect to the relationship with any international body. Salone, the headline is very clear. We're an active member of ECOWAS. We always don't maintain and keep the commitments. Whatever commitments we president, by the way, might be an active member and a leader who they look up to for champion because of his status as an international statesman, where we intend for follow through on their commitment in the. I think that all are going to say on that question. They are passed now to the Minister of Youth, we have been get plenty question them for our I don't say
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and thanks to the journalists that were asked questions that were specifically directed to me. I'll start with the one from Expo type newspaper. We talk about agriculture and the 500,000 jobs. What do we talk about agriculture? Sierra Leone are one of the key countries in Africa where they get 6 months rain. And the land we get for agriculture, and even we will be will not even use 20% of what we get. While we say agriculture and entrepreneurship, now the current and the future of this country now that access to finance, yeah, with the 500,000 job, private sector, check how much government will provide job for. The bulk of the job are when they create an enabling environment for the private sector to invest, and then at the church, presidentbio don't get, and this government don't get, and you get a lot of government. So when we talk about creating jobs, a multi-sectoral one, and when we talk about patterns, then the private sector are one, and other one we take them. Every newspaper measure to a lot of stuff, substance abuse. Not forget, when we talk about drugs and substance abuse, that give this basically. Even the Abbas, we take 3 Abbas, they knock it up for 6 hours. So this is a substance. Down the polish. Yeah? Yeah. When you I want to explain it. Now I tell you I get over 20 almost substance then. And what are the combination of kush?
By the way, sorry, there's a question about looking at the chemical composition of
kush.
And why we not do an analysis yet on that.
That's it. That's it. Initially, now the marshmallow. And marshmallow illegal. If you go Amazon, you can buy marshmallow. Acetone 100%. Acetone 100%. When you use a marshmallow, I need to kush. Now, technology, innovation, creativity. Now umbeyara. They don't improvise with marshmallow. So you see, kumbeyara go to our community. That's where they stop sleeping. And acetone, now illegal for import. So that's why we are pushing for community ownership in this. Even that Montamambono in the top box. You know why they go after the Montamambono with the upline? because they know they give them that inject. No person die formalin. Good. Offline, we die, then go back. Yeah, most people will die, they keep you for long. That formalin they give you that bone, dynamic. So it has to be community owned and the position on that clear. Government's not going to stop all them things. Say nobody know for plant no. But me and you for be each other's keeper. Yeah. On the jobs then from citizen radio, from citizen newspaper. Yeah. He said if the job them will be they expect, and then the one way we want now be the key. Now we wish for me to give other people.
Say if
car wash
job there or a different kind of
car wash now be just one aspect of the job they work create. We people have now you know. I make mention of the fishery. I make mention of the $22 million where we and UNDP give last year. I make mention of the agriculture, entrepreneurship, and access to finance we create. Yeah. The jobs that we talk about now, I tell you for one of the biggest focus we get, the current and the future, entrepreneurship and agriculture. How? Entrepreneurship and access to finance will ensure say young people for able to trust money with the basic degree for serve as a collateral. Where you know we can trust money, say couch your papa in house or auntie in house. Yeah? Somebody make mention of the cost of the taxes that I think like the CMU. Only when we transform agriculture to a modern day agriculture will make it attractive and funky for young people, for the attractive to them. But if we go back to the archaic way of war and cutlass, young people will never be attracted to it. Now that makes us say, by tractors them. And today, in those days with the struggle, we say you get tractor. Now tractors that are available, it's about how do you get the money for get them. And now people push towards entrepreneurship, like we form a group, if we get access to 100, 200 million loans, which in a group, we want to take agriculture loan for different from ordinary loan. Forget us a free space and forget all our weights of them. I think that are the questions then we all know okay. Watch newspaper say we all know what's the
source.
Yeah,
so
the
source and chain of command.
So the chain of command where they talk about the drugs, where we they talk about that one where they talk about not to in the factory. I don't just show you the chemistry now, where in the factory. And what thing we don't do. You don't see how many containers them, they all, how they destroy them, how many people. I mean, if you don't give me statistics of young people that were in a prison today because of this government and all into that. So now a collective effort, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Youth Affairs, and we already say how many TV stations, how many media houses then they post every day say, don't take drug, wait take push that this affects you, we all get a responsibility for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Some more questions are coming from online where I will try for response so quick and then we'll do the second round. One of them, if actually from inside, Stephen, they ask, what's in a government commitment for create these 100,000 jobs per year for young people? Which industry sectors will we target and what kind of incentives for private businesses for hire young people? Again, we will bring the Minister for Employment, but I just want to see the President's vision clear. And I think from the President's vision, you will see an indication of the sector that we will target. Number one, for feed Salone. So that means agriculture is at the top of it. But in the big five, you also get hints at manufacturing, because you talk about 21st century skills and jobs and where they transform this country. President, we talk about innovation and technology. We talk about infrastructure as one of the other areas that we look at, and we talk about industries and really making sure that entrepreneurship, the Academy Minister say as well, that young people be equipped with what they need for proper leadership in creating jobs that are relevant for this new age. But as I say, I promise you, I say the Minister of Employment himself will carry at some point where we will partner and will come and talk properly on this. Some of the questions already online, I just want to acknowledge them and then I will come over to now. Somebody asked me the current status and future plans for NACID, National Council for Civic Education and Democracy. I'll tell NACID the plan that NACID now is part of the ministry. We'll work with them now on making the transition properly and building a more comprehensive cabinet level agenda for civic education. or Nasir go remain part and parcel of that. Somebody asked for emergency lines for report youth crimes, etc. Minister will note that. And then quite a number of questions were for foreign affairs, so I apologize to them people and they now. That will not take them one a day, but we'll try to come back to them. Mr. Bayo, I see you hand up.
Yes, I just want not more small about this drug thing because I'm a clinic and my profession, so I'm very passionate about this.
Why don't you come close to take one microphone?
Okay, sir.
If the one and say we want follow up, we will follow you can closer. So after Mike, I call this lady with lawyer. Yes, you can use this one.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like I say, I'm very passionate about this whole drug thing because I'm a clinician by profession and I work in mental health centers in America, I work in detox centers, so I'm kind of familiar with what's going on. But clearly, when the youth minister tried to explain what's really in a kush, because I think we all get this whole thing mixed up. Like when they say kush, now like something you just go take, you can begin give young man them. Like how the minister said, a synthetic drug. What do I mean by a synthetic drug? Now make the maker. The substance what they take for make that drug they available illegally, they buy them anywhere. So for let government try to tackle that, there is a new approach to it. When they fight drug now in any country, policies, they will need for review. My sister said do a little bit of research, me just learn from him, say the act says, oh, Yusuf is a lawyer and believes that before we take any punitive measures, we have to review that act first. So government is very, very, very committed to this. Presidentbio is very, very committed to this. But the strong message I want for left here this afternoon, and to we all now, I see a lot of bloggers them now within our social media. We serve as a community, we serve as media people, we serve as practitioners in the media landscape. We get a role to play. Now they see people that they criminalize the people there. I don't see videos of more people that they drive them in our communities. This is a danger pass for go after the people that they bring a camera in this country. Why is it a danger? These people that don't live in these communities they don't take for the whole life. First of all, we understand say addiction as a mental illness. Now sick. Now we know that first. Say addiction. Now sickness. Now like when you get malaria, now like when you get tuberculosis, now like when you get any other sickness where you get. So then people, they are the greatest support what they need for letting recover the community support. If we they go they video them, put them on social media, say let them drive them in a community. At the end of the day, what is going to happen? There is a difference between what they call guilt and shame. When you talk about guilt, guilt is intrinsic. If I get bad trick, if I want to change that bad trick, me guilt. Now they make accident and know say this trick here I get it bad, I decide for change. I go change them. But if I shame, what is going to happen? I go find me party with me and in the smoke that kush day. At the end of the day, I isolate myself from that community. That recovery one need that support where people then will tap in on my back and tell me, say, you have a future, you have a long way to go, you can do this, we believe in you. Then I run away from them. And okay. And then people, yeah, let me tell you something. They are going to become enemies for that community. Because one of them get them and they hate that community. They go come back and go to that community and cause mayhem there because them people say they're not there together. So, me advice, well, just one for me, Honorable Minister. We were there. Let us stop for the public shaming them people in there. Yeah? Do ya? If we see anybody that do that, Lord, call them out. Yeah? These people need us. They need government. They need all of us for letting them recover. Thank you.
Thank you. No, don't let me make it. Excellent public health message. Thank you for that. I think we cut aspect of what you just say and put it out as a video because I think it's an important message. And we'll come back next week with more on this question. Go ahead with your question.
Good afternoon, everybody in this house. My name is Fatmata Conte, student from my farm, I farm students magazine. My question is, Mr. Minister, we try to stop this drugs abuse push and everything. I want to know if you don't try to get a dialogue with the police, the security sector. Because I don't know, like 3 occasions where the police will try to talk to the youth man the way they do them kind of work there. Now the same one the way they join them for smoke the same drugs. And now them for all them, now them for try to talk to them, but the same people away for talk to them. Now the same people and they try to join them back. So I wonder if you don't try to talk with the police then.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you for that. Next, the other lady, yes.
Mr. Minister, so this plan again has a dialogue, awareness, and sensation. So for the past 4 years, that plan is MC stage, they use anything. When they talk to residents, tomorrow, go to the same thing. So waiting at the plan, waiting at the way forward.
Thank you for that. Let me see. I want to have different voices. Okay, another lady. Sorry, we have to have a women. Well, the first round was all men, so it's only fair. Next round, all women. Yes.
Use the mic, please. Press the mic and use the mic.
The first question will go to the youth minister. At first, where the youth farming being start, we see many of Salone residents living inside the country. But as time goes, we know they see them residents again. And when we get dialogue with the young people, and then they say, when they think how they rest, people they think credit them at the end of the day, they pay. So within the ministry, they do follow them address such thing. And still, so their equipment they need. Some of them, when they go with them and place things they don't thief them. Now to the talking about mental health business, students say mental health don't be raised up to the highest level. When they talk about the 1902 Lunacy Act, where they discriminate young people and even people where they live with a problem. So what the government they do for this say they change this act here, so because we don't dialogue on this conversation for over years now. Every now and then they say that they review this act, but yet still they not do nothing else.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We have a lady, yes. Go on. Use the mic, please.
Okay, good afternoon. I am Khadija to Jamno, and I report for Sky Radio. Sorry, I still English. My question to the youth minister. Yes, I'm a bit concerned. Over the years, even though we don't see Usai on a give job to some young people, but what I want to know, is it just about giving job to young people, or will I want to get the mechanism as to how that job will impact the lives of those young people positively? For example, we get this car wash project all the mechanics. We don't see over the years, I'm not doing research, but for the side and way I don't go. In fact, I think like a meeting point for small push now. And we see how they can behave and then can wash them in. So I want to know what's the mechanism. Is it about giving job or it's about changing the lives? Thank you.
I'll take one more, and I'll take the gentleman from Epic Radio.
Press again. Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, Mohammed Jawad. So, Mr. Minister, last week Politico did a report on the push, and according to that story, the West Africa Epidemiology Network shows the amount of people are now when they admit secrecy as a result of push over the last 3 years don't go up by 2,000%, not 200, not 300, 2,000% in the last 3 years. So, whilst the formula whilst the chemistry for make push don't change, but this problem has been there for 3 years at the very least. So, but constantly the same thing we're hearing from government. We develop policy, and the problem is getting worse. And on the point of advocacy, you say the community their own advocacy, which is fantastic, but in the absence of government leadership in those communities, they are now taking the law into their own hands, beating, discriminating, driving people away from those communities.
Turn off the mic for me, please. Thank you very much. So that will be the last question for today. I just want to say to family, one of the things that will change as well, and I know Mr. Jawad Nyalego agreed with me now for not call Kisi mental home his home, a mental home, and like how we brother said, we did it, now sick and sick, just like how me and you can get malaria and all that. So I think one of the things they really take responsibility for as well, because a civic education platform. I don't say nobody disagree with me, so that's why I feel free to say that. I pass over to the minister. One of the things where they also really try to upload on this press conference on time. So now I have 6 minutes for try to respond to all the questions that we get right now.
Thank you very much. I'll start with the last question. I'll go right away. You talk about government leadership and the type of advocacy we talk about. What thing happened now to advocacy? Not to awareness is in the one day. They call them victimization of the victims and double punishment. What do you mean the type of say advocacy? Now where you able to build the person's self-esteem for them, you tell them what thing right and what you're supposed to do. That kind of thing we talk about. Yeah. Somebody talk about the job, the impact we didn't do. Car wash not just one aspect. The reason why when I focus on car wash is because now in the all over. But the essence of the car wash now be that those young people, where they don't victimize, where society don't ignore, they don't forget a meeting point. And we not create job for them. But today, if you go, I call them the bridge going to Oswabi College, you meet over 100 bike and keke they packed in a net. In those days, when the car wash not be day, you know they ever get them day. So trust and confidence day in the one day. Like you can pack your bike, you know get time for pack and go down and hill, you pack and go. Again, you negative, you get positive things. Like when you make measure, and when ensure say I follow up, like we say, I place for self drugs also. The sister make mention say plan A no work. Putting on the plan B. I don't know which yardstick you use for say plan A no work. But the plan A, I'll tell you, is effective and it work. Now because ministers and the council don't talk about drugs and substance abuse, where we push everybody talk about them, now that make you see say awareness is in day and people don't know about them. Not to say the impact now there, the impact there. Now because we talk about them, because young people and different facets they talk about them make it don't limit it. And we they talk about data. This na past yes, it didn't increase, but at the same time, very soon we'll get status of heat reports. I don't get the development partner when a World Bank don't need for you need to know, you need to play with data, know what's in the status on young people in drugs, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and all of one day. The final one we have to do with dialogue with the police. We are part of the police. We get what we call community policing. Before this time, His Excellency the President, me, Minister of Internal Affairs, all the stakeholders in substance abuse within one room, we strategize and do what we're supposed to do. Now, because of them one day, make anything and we make then awareness they are there today. But they tell you, we know the two part as compared to other areas. When we compare Sierra Leone on drugs, let me check America, Los Angeles. Let me talk about Guinea, Ghana. Let me talk about area, Liberia, Guinea. How drug don't turn all that thing. Nobody knows talk about drug in Guinea. Nobody talk about drug like how the cabinet minister they discuss what Anaya. They beg one and say, let me take ownership in this. So because of what we don't do now, that make police say everybody they do that one day. On that note, like when the minister give me 6 minutes, except otherwise I get other question. I just want to say plenty thank you. Except otherwise, I just want to say plenty thank you. And I use this opportunity for saying the last message say, let we all journalists them, media houses them, newspapers them, that your last corner, now your page, now your front page, puts the effects of drugs, especially kush, not for take drugs, and that a way for people to society. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I want to just say quickly that on the question of the legal reforms we need on mental health, That's something where I know say the minister and the government, the president also care about. I know say work don't start on that. But as I promised, either next week or the week after, we will announce in time, we will get the Minister of Health, and we will get social welfare, and the head of the mental facility will get for Kanaya. We therefore get an in-depth press conference where we deal with this issue, because clearly the interest extremely high on this question, yeah, and as until they touch on the rest of society, and both, I think, a news issue and a civic education issue. So now a perfect issue that they follow we cancel. Let me come quickly to Khadija for in final words, and then we go close up.
So first of all, like I said, I appreciate this opportunity I get. I'm not going to stop here. I right. I use my social media for doing my own part, and I see how we can go down. I will join and go down also. Because now from down me on my advocacy, so I'm going to just start inside your social media world. One thing I want for left to is Sierra Leone signed for the SDGs. Goal 3, Goal 16, peace and health. We need to achieve them if crucial drug abuse still so high in the country. So to government, from a youth angle, I just want to say this. So long we committed to this. The time very close for me we go submit reports and this and this we don't achieve. And in order for me to achieve them, for make sure say young people are really healthy, emotionally, mentally, and physically. To the young people, I must tell you, if government not come to you, go to yourself. Okay, fight for yourself. Social media now where they make money. Facebook where they make money. Do YouTube, do whatever, videos of even you laughing and posting. Someday, somehow, you make money out of them. That way you empower yourself. Let these people come one day and say you do you yourself, and you are who you are because of you, not only them. Let's stop depending on selling them and all that people around us. Like my friend always say, no one knows us anything, but we know ourselves everything. Thank you so much.
Alright, excellent. On that very high note today, I want to tell our friends thank you, Naka, particularly tell the Ubuza partner, SLPC, our acknowledge the Director General of SLPC. Thank you very much for the come. Joseph Ebenda Kapua, ASQ. We get plenty of partner that support community radio, all the community radio stations there across this country we carry live. I for plead with the journalists every day. I say at the last slide on that we PowerPoint with the up so, and they ask people to control that slide, move on to the last slide. We get a form they ask you for, use a QR code and fill in. It will take less than 5 minutes of your time. Or just give feedback on both the content and the style and any information we want to give you on this press briefing today. Next week, sharp 2, we will be back. We can send this